Wow. Did not expect to be on this early. You can kind of blame UFC for getting started late. They had a fight fall through. But yeah, we're going to do like an impromptu live stream here where we are going to review a video from a friend of the channel, Louis Rossmann. Louis Rossmann sent me a link to a subreddit, which every time I see the link and it tells me which subreddit is on, I basically just talk to them about it to get the information so that I don't have to click on it myself. What subreddit might I be talking about? I'm talking about the subreddit known as r/2x chromosomes. Now, in a world that doesn't want to acknowledge what 2x chromosomes actually means, because, you can be whatever you want to be, just say that you are it. I find it very interesting that they use that name for this subreddit, since chromosomes do not determine your sex anymore in our society. Determined by people who are not genetic experts. But I digress. So my friend Louis, he makes the mistake of going into the subreddit. And to his defense, he says, "Hey, they keep putting it on the front page." And he's I guess he's very easily triggered by stupidity. So he sent me the post, and then he sends me a link to a video that he did, and when he sent me the link, he sent it to me before it went live. That makes me feel special. Like I get to see the video first before everybody else. Except that I clicked on the link late, and I only saw it after a couple of people had seen it. But that's neither here nor there. I am going to play all or most of this video in its entirety, and then we are going to discuss the contents of the video, and if we are lucky, we may get an appearance from Louis Rossmann himself. So let's get into it.
For having a lovely day. So this morning I did something that I shouldn't do.
First of all, I'm going to...
Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day.
Sorry, I had to make sure that you guys knew that he said, "Hey, how are you doing?" first, before saying, "I hope that you have a lovely day."
So this morning I did something that I shouldn't do, which is I was scrolling through Reddit because I was procrastinating getting up since I had to go to work, which is not what you should be doing, but admittedly it was Saturday morning and I kind of didn't want to go to work. And this is a weird one because it showed up on the front page in spite of the fact that it had low upvotes. And I was very curious why something with so low upvotes showed up on the front page. But since it did show up on the front page, I thought I would read through it so that I had something to rage at, because I don't know how to read through this without raging. So you tell me what you think. This is from r/2x chromosomes. It says, why do men have to ask us out on dates every time we have friendly interactions with them? As a woman, I'm sick of this. I'm not even that attractive, yet I keep seeing things happening to me and other women. Every time I had thought about making a friend or had an interesting conversation with a man, it turned out with them wanting to date or a potential girlfriend. I was at the gym wearing a Zelda shirt. A guy comments on that, and we had a nice conversation about the last Zelda games, as apparently he's also a fan of the series. I thought, nice. I met someone nice at the gym who has no ulterior motives. Then when I was heading out, he talks to me, and he asks for my number and a date. Now I'm forced to change my gym hours to avoid him because I dared to be a woman in a public space. I was at a college waiting for a class. A guy approaches me, and we end up talking about the professor. We apparently both dislike him, but I love the subject he teaches. Then just before the class starts, he asks for my number and a date. Now I have to feel uncomfortable because I dared to accept a nice conversation with a man. I was out and about at the mall, and a guy approaches me commenting on my shoes. I thought yet another guy hitting on random women. Then I noticed we wore the same niche brand of shoes. We had a nice conversation about the brand, and then when the conversation died, he asked for my number and a date, all because we had a nice conversation. Just yesterday, I went to a hobby meetup with a friend. There weren't too many people. When the meetup ended, the two guys I talked to the most asked me on a date because I dared to... I really should be going to work, but I don't know. It's Saturday morning. Anyway, Just yesterday, I went to a hobby meetup with a friend. There weren't too many people. When the meetup ended, the two guys I talked to the most asked me on a date only because I dared to make a friendly conversation with them and share a hobby. Now, the safe space has become uncomfortable to me, and only because I dared to be a woman. The list goes on, and I'm sick of this. I just want to exist as a woman without a desperate man thinking that every interaction has to lead to a date or romantic relationship. Why can't men see women as friends/people rather than just potential dates, girlfriends, or sexual partners? Note to the male lurkers: stop seeing women only as potential girlfriends or sexual partners. Learn to appreciate women as friends and platonic acquaintances. Not everything has to turn romantic. Life is not a rom-com. If despite all of this you want to ask a particular woman out, make sure she's interested romantically first, not just platonically. Women would be extremely grateful if you did this one small thing before making a move. And I can't read the rest of it because it literally just it rots your brain. So I guess where do we even begin with something like this? So firstly, this begins with her saying that she had a nice conversation with somebody. Not his definition of the conversation. Her definition of the conversation is that it was a nice and pleasant conversation. And then he's asked her on a date, and she wants to change her gym hours so that she doesn't have to see him. Because like saying, "Oh no, I'm not interested in that, but thank you," is not enough. You literally can't go to the you can't be at the gym at the same time as him. That's not healthy. We're not talking about a guy that walked up to you and said, "Hey girl, you're hot," and just stared at you for 10 minutes. I'm not saying that the right way to deal with that would be to not go to the gym when that person's at the gym, but I can kind of understand what you're getting at. We're talking about somebody who had by their definition, nice and pleasant conversation. And because he asked that and she said no, she now has to modify her schedule so she never sees him again. Because that's healthy. Definitely no unresolved problems there that might require therapy rather than blaming all men. At the next one, you have a conversation about the professor and he asked you for a date at college. Another one, a guy talks about your shoe and you had a nice conversation about the brand. And again, you had a nice conversation, not a bad conversation. Again, this is not a man running up and saying, "Hey girl, you're cute." This is somebody having a nice conversation about a mutual interest and then asking you out. Above all, at the end, when it says make sure that she's interested romantically first before you do something like this, how would that work? By the way, are you just interested in friendship or would you be interested in more than friendship? Because if you would be interested in more than friendship, then I'd like permission to ask you to dinner. Or, hey, this is a lovely conversation. If you'd like to speak more, I'd love to take you to dinner. And you hand a card with your number. Which one is more or less creepy? I don't believe there is a world where the former would result in this not being a front-paging r/2x chromosomes post, but the latter is. Because if a man did the former, which is, by the way, are you only interested in friendship or would you maybe be interested in more? That's the same thing. It's just a much creepier way of saying the exact same thing, which is that I'm interested in you. I don't think, again, to be clear, I've never tried that before. And maybe if I did try that, my apartment would just be filled with beautiful women rather than 3 cats. But in all seriousness, I don't see a world where that would actually work. And the idea that you are desperate for actually asking a woman out, I think the problem here may actually be one of low self-confidence. If a man is desperate to be asking you out, if every man that asks you out is desperate, then what does this say about you? That is actually a piece of negative self-talk that I don't even think that this person is noticing. And honestly, it's very difficult for me to tell if these things are shitposts or not. But when you scroll down, the people in the comments also appear to believe that there's a chance this is real. Now, I'm very proud of r/2x chromosomes for this because I usually read posts like this in r/2x chromosomes and want to just blow my brains out. But this one in particular, the top upvoted comment says, "I'm probably going to be downvoted to shit for this." But especially with the first example you mentioned, it sounds like he doesn't sound like he was being disrespectful. Unless I'm missing something, he clocked 2 things you had in common, had a friendly conversation with you, so it's not impossible from him his eyes that you would seem like a nice person asking a date. What separates the boys from the men is how they react when you reject them. To be clear, I'm very happy that in this sub, at least for this period of time, reason prevailed to the point where that's the top of voted post. But the person who wrote it said, "I'm probably going to get downvoted to shit for this," which means that there are people that read this that genuinely believe that that is a controversial opinion. They believe that's the wrong thing to think, as denoted by the way they started their post. which is absolutely and utterly insane to me. And again, the more that you dig into this type of stuff, the more that you read r/2x chromosomes or a Kevin Samuels comment section, the more you get into this, the more you realize that there is just so much vibrating resentment between the genders. It seems so insanely unhealthy. And the part where it says, nice, I met someone nice at the gym who has no ulterior motives. Well, there is no ulterior motive. He made his motive clear after a 10-minute conversation with you. Now, an ulterior motive, in my opinion, would be somebody that gets to know you platonically as a friend for 3 months or 6 months or 2 years or 4 years, and then springs on you in the 5th year after you're married, after you have children. Jasmine, I've had a crush on you since I met you at the gym and talked about Zelda that day. Like, honestly, in your heart of hearts, which would you rather have happen? Would you rather have a pleasant conversation for 10 minutes where you both laugh and you enjoy your shared interests, and the guy says, hey, by the way, if you're not busy Tuesday night, I got an extra ticket to the symphony orchestra. Would you like to come see the Shostakovich concert? Or would you prefer, after 2 or 3 years of platonic friendship, the guy saying, we've been friends for such a long time, and I really get along with you so well, Jasmine, that I was kind of thinking maybe we could start dating? Like, again, which one is worse? I personally think that the former has far less ulterior motives than the latter. Speaking of ulterior motives, I think somebody here wants a greenie. You ready for breakfast, Blackberry? You ready for breakfast, girl? You want some breakfast? Blackberry, I'm doing a video. Blackberry. Blackberry. Blackberry, what are you doing? Blackberry, what are you doing, girl? Really? You're just going to walk on me while I'm doing the video. Anyway, I double down on what I said before, which is I genuinely do believe that there is this like little tuning fork that's just like resonating and getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse with resentment between the genders. I read more posts like this every single day. Again, read r/2x chromosomes or a Kevin Samuels comment section, and you will start to see that type of just aggravation and resentment between the genders is starting to not be something that's just on the internet or in comment sections. It's stuff that I'm slowly starting to see seep into real life conversation in particularly scary ways. And I'm not exactly happy or excited to see where the next 10, 20, or 50 years of relationships between the sexes go. Again, this, like, thankfully, in this particular case, the top voted post on here is one of rationality and sanity. But if you scroll far enough down, you'll. I'm not, you know what? I'm not even going to get into the comments because I won't be able to get to work today. That's it for today. And as always, hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. If Blackberry lets me. Why are you biting my wrist?
Okay, so where to begin with this? Shout out to Apex Philly. Thank you for coming through here. Because yeah, we need to talk about this kind of shit. Okay, so let me take you back a little bit further. So for those of you who know Louis Rossmann, he has 2 channels. He has the Louis Rossmann channel, and he has a different channel. I want to make sure I get the name of this. I want to make sure I get the name of this channel right, because I don't want to say this improperly. Just bear with me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he has a channel with almost 2 million subscribers, 1.76 million subscribers. Just his name, Louis Rossmann. He also has a secondary channel called Louis Rossmann Random Live. This is where he covers a bunch of random things on his channel, does driving live streams with copyrighted music. He is going to take the video down because he already knows he doesn't need the DCMA strike on his channel or anything like that. He just does it. It's kind of like a social event. If he has to travel long distances or he wants to do AMAs on random topics or what have you. But today, he went on Reddit and then saw, thank you, Mrs. Evil. if people want to check out both of his channels, it's in the comments section. And put it up on the screen here. YouTube.com/@ Louis Rossmann live board repair. That is the secondary channel. And the main channel with all the subscribers, please go over there and drop a sub if you haven't already. Yes, I know this is a 1,000 subscriber channel, telling you to go subscribe to a channel that is 1,000, more than 1,000 times larger than this one. But definitely go check him out. Very, very intelligent guy. I don't always agree with everything that he says, but that is the nature of our friendship. We have discussions based on things that we may or may not agree with. And I love him like a brother. So not too long ago, we went, he invited me on his secondary channel to talk about how a group of ingenious mathematicians created an app to find out where the pretty and not very intelligent women were in their classes, so that they could join those classes and then get close to them by offering tutoring services. And of course, these young men who are not violating anyone, they are targeting the type of women that they want. They are offering something of value, and then consensually seeing if it can go more than just the value that they were offering, and then see if these women would be into them. Now, these guys had a reaction by their professor that something just felt wrong about it. Couldn't say what, because these young men were not violating anyone. They were not forcing themselves on anyone. But then the professor also notices that they're not offering the services to all of the students, namely the unattractive women were not, they were not being offered these services. So they're evil for that too, because they're only giving their attention to the women that they're interested in. Remember, only women are allowed to do that. Only women are allowed to notice the existence of the men that they're attracted to, while ignoring the existence and the societal contributions of the men that make their easy lives possible. It's okay when women do it, but when men zero in on the type of women that they want to be associated with and or date and or marry, et cetera, it's bad when the men do it. Men need to be inclusive, but it's okay for women to be exclusive. So we talked about that subject, and I basically stated, just regular ass facts. Men are attracted to what they're attracted to. Men, by and large, are going to do what is necessary to attract the attention of the women that they're attracted to. And in most cases, that involves offering something or multiple items of value, be it tangible or intangible. But some of his comment section were approaching my talking points, which are just regular ass talking points, not anything that is like really out of the blue, out of the norm. Guys like women who are, easy to deal with, easy to talk to, physically fit, somebody that they want to look at and be around, whether they're talking about something important or nothing at all. This is how we men are. We like what we like. And, people couldn't help but compare me to Andrew Tate, somebody that you guys, if you guys have been on this channel, I am very critical of Andrew Tate. A lot of what he says about intersexual dynamics usually are true, but his words really do hurt because he says the truth in a lot of cases in a malicious fashion, meant to get a rise out of guys who are non-select and to put women down unnecessarily. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, women put themselves down with their talking points and their behaviors. But there's a particular malicious intent. You know, he likes to govern and manipulate people's emotions instead of having the conversation so that we can steer things where they need to be steered. Now, there are times where, you know, he says things that are reasonable in a reasonable fashion, but his public image is now what it is. And now when he speaks, he actually harms people in these spaces on the internet that are not anti-male. This is a pro-male platform here, TSP. We also love and support the women that love and support us. But he does a lot of damage to the message that is trying to be put out in this space, which is, we understand and we agree, ladies, that we need to offer things of value to you. But we also have things that we value. And if you want what you value from us, then you must also offer what we want of value from you. You know, fair exchange is no robbery, is something Kevin Samuels used to say. But apparently, you massage your knees if you have this viewpoint in an era that keeps telling you that they value equality. Brad, how you doing today? Thank you for dropping by. Appreciate you. So what I want to do is I want to get into these comments on this video because just like when I made an appearance on his platform and people attacked me for just saying regular ass shit, you're going to notice a recurring theme here. Okay. All right. So let's look at these. Let's look at these comments here. Okay. Okay. Let's look at these comments, y'all. First, you know, I'm a narcissist, right? And I am a desperate, I mean, you see right here, I am a desperate and wrong misogynist. I massage knees, y'all. I want you guys to know that, okay? And you know it's true because it's right here in the title. Okay. She won't have this problem after age 35. She'll be mad then for the opposite reason. Moral of the story, leave her alone. Make her live by her current attitude later, even when being alone doesn't advantage her. Keep that same energy. I am known by everybody in my personal life for KTSE. And I say it all the time. Keep that same energy. If what you're saying is good today, keep it up. Don't switch your position because it's no longer advantageous for you. I'm talking to you, Scarlett Johansson. I'm talking to you. Don't switch up. Don't try to be, you know, the world's greatest feminist after you made 9 figures being a sex symbol for 20 years. No, we're not doing that here today. Keep that same energy. If this is the position that you hold today, live by that shit when it no longer serves you. He did have a comment that was pinned here, and it is gone. And I'm very disappointed that he unpinned this comment. But I still have the version here on my cell phone. I'm gonna, you know, I'll try to scroll down so you guys know I'm not bullshitting you. If this mofo deleted their comment after they got roasted, oh my God, I'm about to go off. It's possible that they got roasted and they deleted it, but I still have it. No, you're not getting away. I cannot put this up on my screen because I don't have the software to show this off my iPhone. But someone named Ki Mu had this response to Lewis. Yeah. Here we go. Speaking to Lewis Rossmann, are you rebranding? This content isn't what I subscribed for. did you feel the need to steer young men in the quote right direction? If you drop another video like this, instead of just doing a weird side channel, I'll have to unsubscribe. This is already saturated in the feed algorithm. Really, really disappointed you would stoop so as low as to do weird dating / women harassment / women are being overdramatic to their own emotions or experiences content. What is the point of this? Now, Lewis did make it clear in the video what the point of him doing this analysis is. He did make that clear. You know, you watched the video along with me. You heard what he had to say. I truly hate all this shit leaking into everything. It's not my fault being pursued psychologically damaged my socialization and the way I navigate my life. It's my responsibility to navigate how I deal, and someone like you isn't the person to help me with that. Really weirdly out of character move. Genuinely, please start a side channel if you feel passionately about this. It's already everywhere. It shouldn't be as is. So let's break this down. This woman here believes that she controls what Louis Rossmann says on the Louis Rossmann channel. Just think about that. This person feels infringed upon. Dare I say, they believe that they are oppressed, while at the same time believing in and having this air of entitlement, where they believe they can actually tell the content creator what he can and cannot say on his channel. That's pretty interesting. Right? And this is something that I've noticed, I haven't really put this thought together until recently, but we have a contingent of people that try to control what you think and feel at the same time they're telling you how oppressed they are. And they say this with like this knowledge, like they just know that I just get to tell you what to think, feel, and say. Your channel is based upon my preferences because everything revolves around me. But I'm oppressed. I have these expectations that everything should go my way all the time. I'm oppressed. Does anybody see how that doesn't quite make any sense? Really disappointed you would stoop as low as to do weird dating, women harassment. Women are being overdramatic to their own emotions, experiences. It's really interesting to me that when women bash men, it's all good. I've seen women talk about on the black in the black feminist spaces here on YouTube. They openly advocate for the abortion of Black unborn children, specifically the male ones. If you have a child and you find out through the sonogram or the ultrasound, which I think is the same thing, that the unborn child is male, they encourage you to abort that child. No community guideline strikes from YouTube. When recently Twitter had a hashtag that said #KillAllMen, the people that used it, did they get their account suspended, banned? No. But when you say, hey, a person who is upset because somebody approached them respectfully because they were interested in them, because they have similar hobbies and interests, then you get this response. So it's rightfully they did get the pin of shame. Yeah, I think what they did was they deleted their comment. because Louis Rossmann's response was absolutely scintillating. Absolutely scintillating. Basically, what he said is, I cover a lot of things on my channel. I've covered a whole bunch of kind of things on this channel, but I noticed that you don't threaten to unsubscribe from my channel when it's something you agree with. But the minute you disagree with something, you want to tell me what I can and cannot say on my platform. Yeah, I noticed this as well, because when I clicked on the link, it was already gone. Now, we're going to get into a little bit of the irony of the situation. Okay? Louis Rossmann. Let's check out this comment right here. Wow, this gets worse and worse. This person actively posts in personals. 28-year-old female in Texas, anywhere, looking for my romantic, etc., tries to ask men out at work. Hey, Abood, how you doing, man? I know you're looking for the MMA show that is coming up in about 20 minutes. For those that are here for Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party, you will get this from us today. So posts about how bad it is when men she has a pleasant conversation with ask her outside of work. When it all fails, posts in are forever alone. But to top it off, the best part, since I moved to Texas, this person is a neighbor of his. This has to be a shit post at this point. No way this is real. Nobody can have this complete lack of self-awareness. No one. But with my luck, this isn't a shit post. She's probably my next door neighbor now. And yes. So now, does this feel like does this feel like this makes no sense? For some women and almost all men, they will say, yeah, this doesn't make much sense at all. It doesn't. But I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to decipher the code for you. Okay? You see, this woman here actively posts in personals, tries to ask men out at work, right? But upset when she has a pleasant conversation with someone outside of work. Now, this doesn't seem to be very congruent. And I'm sorry, we're probably not going to have Louis Rossmann on for this, but maybe we'll have him on to talk about this at a later time. But these things actually tell a story, people. And please pay attention to this. Women are always going to complain about attention. Women are always going to complain about not getting attention. But there is a very real reason for it. You see, women, by and large, most women do not recognize the existence of men they do not find attractive or otherwise advantageous to take advantage of. They don't notice that you exist at all. It is not in their nature to recognize you, because her job is to extract resources from you so that she can feel safe enough to procreate. And if you're not one of those males that can do that for her, you do not exist. So she's actively posting impersonals, people. But when people hit her up on her DMs, she's upset with most of the people who would dare to approach her, because they're not on the level. They're not the type of man that she wants attention from. Okay? See, this guy at work, who is probably the social owner of the environment, he is likely a man that all the women in the office have interest in. That's the man she wants attention from. You see, these other 4 guys that she talked about on this post right here, this post right here, If she was attracted to these men, she would not get on the internet to pawn them off as, if you are trying to approach me, you are desperate. She called guys who were chill, had a conversation back and forth. She said that the conversations were pleasant. Those were her words to describe the conversations, not the men. They showed her respect. They showed her a good time. But they weren't the guys that she is attracted to, and that is the crime. You see, they're not desperate and wrong because they're interested in women emotionally, psychologically, whatever. Their crime is not being the class of man that they believe should be giving them the attention. Now, when you know the wall is undefeated, Father Time wins against everybody. Now, Father Time gets us men a little bit later in the life, after age 60. But Father Time starts coming for women around age 30. There is going to come a time where no men are going to be knocking at her door. And that is where this principle comes into play. And I was very clear about what I said here, folks. She won't have this problem after age 35. And I said this before I knew she was 28 years old. She'll be mad then for the opposite reason. Moral of the story, and guys, I hate to do this to you. And you're going to have to treat a lot more women like this. It is going to get worse before it gets better. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. She even says that guys should wait for women to show that they are interested. You know what, guys? Start listening. Stop giving them compliments. Stop recognizing their existence on this earth past their professional capacity in their chosen professions. Give it a couple of years, you won't hear much of this kind of shit anymore. You won't. Because right now, you're starting to see a lot of women over the age of 40, between 40 and 60, who are now angry at men like Leonardo DiCaprio for dating adult age women that are not in the same age group as them. See, they were upset when these guys were trying to date them. And now that they've aged out of consideration, now it is, no, you are supposed to be attracted to me because of the traits that I have. I don't give a fuck what you like. I don't even care about you. I don't care about what it is you want. I care about what it is I want. As a woman, I care about what I want. I want access to your resources, and you need to be attracted to my behavioral, social, and physical traits. That's what you need to do, man. Hey, Leonardo, stop dating 22-year-old women because these women over here believe that they're entitled to your attention. Guys, all this simping shit y'all doing, it's got to stop. And it's not because it's a bad thing to do, okay? Let me let you in on a little bit of secret about me. I'm a little bit of a simp myself at heart. But I had to start taking control of my own narrative. I had to start making sure that the people that get my attention in this life are the people that show that they are deserving. And you know how you show that you deserve my attention? By actually giving a fuck about what I think, feel, and desire. Guys, if you're encountering women that don't give a fuck about what you think, feel, or desire, keep it pushing. Keep it moving. Don't look at them in the gym. Don't hop in the DMs. Don't ask for phone numbers. Do like this woman is actually telling you to do. Wait until the woman signals to you, tells you in plain English, I want you to try to date me. And then it's up to you to decide whether you want to date that woman or not. That is my advice to you, gentlemen. And it's not the good advice. This is not great advice. I'm letting you know this. But this is what is going to be necessary to kind of bring things back towards the middle. Because all that MGTOW stuff and all of that, man-hating stuff, they're both two sides of the same dysfunctional coin that helps nobody. But for the time being, to get things to come back towards reasonable, guys, you're going to have to be a lot more judicious with whom you give your attention and affection to. All right. So we did not get Louis Rossmann on the stream because he's actually working at the store that he owns on a Saturday. But we hope to have him on to give his thoughts in real time. And we will revisit this story then for a part 2. In the meantime, get ready, because in about 15 minutes, myself and Mrs. Evil will be here to take you through. This is UFC Vegas 70. And this is going to be a Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party number 67, if I am not mistaken. So we hope that you MMA fans like Aboud Faiz comes back, and we can talk about things like what's going on in the world of mixed martial arts. So be right back at you in about 10 to 15 minutes time. Thank you for coming through the stream today. We'll catch you later.